Ruslan.
Hey, Ruslan, do you know that if you don't vote for Donald Trump, cultural Marxism and rioting is going to take over this country? There's going to be all kinds of different social ills. We're going to go full-blown communist. Hey, Ruslan, if you don't vote for Biden, man, listen, we're on the verge of a fascist dictatorship. The entire system is going to collapse. Wealth inequality is going to explode. The world is going to end. Trump is going to press the button. What's happening? I can't believe it. The world is coming to an end because if you don't vote for my candidate, then it's all going to fall apart. Complete cap, all right? Complete cap. Stop it with the shenanigans. We're going to talk the very basics of politics, but then we're going to go specifically on, is voting third party a waste of a vote? I'm going to see if I got some other time. I got to run my mom to an appointment, but we get into it right now. Guys, don't let anybody fear you into voting however they want you to vote. Don't let anybody scare you, okay? It's not the end of the world. All right, now, first of all, off top, we have to remember, guys, there's 3 branches of government, okay? You got the president, the White House, you got the Senate, you got the House, and there's obviously the Supreme Court judge. There's been a lot of talk on that. I'll see if I can get to that, okay? 1, our founding fathers, though they were not perfect, they were smart. Y'all know that meme? They were smart. They were smart to build in some checks and balances so that no one can just completely destroy the country. If our country could be destroyed by any one president, it's already a wrap, and we might as well quit. So a lot of times we have to just think worst case scenario and see if you are okay with the worst case scenario in a realistic context. I'm okay with the worst case scenario of either of these guys getting elected. I'm not voting for either of these guys, but first, just understand how our government is set up. There are these things called checks and balances. That is why our democracy is pretty fire off the top. Secondly, there's this thing called the Electoral College. A lot of you guys just completely don't understand how it works. Okay, you think that it's a popular vote. It's not. It's not a popular vote, because if it was a popular vote, then Al Gore would have became president in the year 2000 and Hillary Clinton would have became president in the year 2016. That is not an endorsement for Hillary Clinton. But it is not a popular vote. We got this thing called the Electoral College. Based on the size of your state, you get so many votes. What ends up happening is we wanted representation for the smaller states. So that is how this thing plays out. Okay, now, so look up the Electoral College. I'm not going to do an exhaustive thing on the Electoral College. So just stop it with the shenanigans. Second of all, with the Electoral College, there are certain states that have all red states and all red votes in the Electoral College, and others that have blue states. California's a blue state. Guess what? I could vote for Trump, and guess what? It's not going to make a difference. California's delegates are going to Biden. Period. Case closed. That's how it works. I'm sorry. So if you're in New York, you're in California, 99.9% chance that they are going blue. They're going Biden. Because that is just the demographic of these states. Now, there are going to be states that go red. Texas. If you're in Texas, listen, they're voting for Trump. They think that socialism is going to break out in the streets November freaking 7th or 5th or whenever the election is if they vote for Biden. Texas is going red. They're voting for Trump. Period. You can vote for Biden all you want. It's going for Trump. Okay, so let's just understand the Electoral College. So what does that mean? Well, that means that in our fine area of creating these checks and balances and all these things, really the presidential election comes down to a couple of states, the swing states. This is where you're going to see all the controversy. This is where you're going to see all the shenanigans on election night. Okay? The swing states. What are the swing states? Nevada, Arizona can be considered a swing state. They shift. Wisconsin, Minnesota. You got Pennsylvania. You got Florida. think North Carolina and South Carolina. I think sometimes they change. Those are the swing states. That's really who decides to vote. If you are in one of those states, then yes, you get to decide who becomes president. It does matter. Like, okay. Now, voting third party. A lot of you guys want, like, there's this big campaign of like vote, 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 vote. But they don't tell you none of the stuff I just described to you. Okay, so we're voting like it's the end of the world. It's not. We're gonna be okay. All right, just relax. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay, I don't like either one of these guys, but I can live with either one of these guys. It's gonna be fine. 2, we forget the checks and balances. 3, we don't know how the electoral college work, and everybody wants you to vote, 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 vote. But let's be honest, a lot of us are conflicted. If I'm honest, I'm conflicted. I like some of Trump's foreign policy. I like that he overdid NAFTA. I like his taxes because I'm trying to make more money. I don't want to pay a ton of taxes. I like some of his policies. I'm not going to lie to you. I like the fact that he defunded Planned Parenthood. I think that's cool. I like some of Biden's stuff, okay? Well, I like Biden just being a bit more presidential and less of a kind of a jerk, okay? If I'm honest. I'm concerned about Harris. Not a fan of Harris. But I like some of Biden's stuff. Let me think if I can think of any Biden things that I like. Just primarily him not being a jerk. I just like that, right? I like him not being a jerk. Oh, I like that, that he comes off a bit less dog whistly to some of the, the far right groups. I like that. I would hope that there would be some mitigation to all the racial turmoil if Biden gets elected, symbolically at least, right? So I like some of that. I can't really think of any policies off the top, but just so you guys know, okay, I am not either for either of these candidates. I am not, I'm politically agnostic, but I'm also not biased. I'm going to tell you the facts. I'm going to tell you what I think about these things, and I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Now, third party, is it a waste of a vote? This is how I will probably vote. I voted this way in 2016. Okay, I did not vote for Hillary. I couldn't bring myself to vote for Hillary, and I definitely couldn't bring myself to vote for Trump. Now, if you guys really care about this stuff, shout out to those of you guys that were paying attention to the primaries. Shout out to everybody who knows what Yang Gang is. That's where this stuff really makes a difference. There were better candidates than Trump, Republican candidates in 2016, and there were better candidates, Democratic candidates than Biden last year, or whenever the primaries was. And guess what? You guys didn't care. You weren't checked in. And maybe that's some of my fault. I didn't really start talking about this stuff until recently, but I was very big on the Yang Gang, and I could tell you why, but we're not going to get into that. Third party vote. Is the third party vote a waste of a vote? Well, let's look into it, okay? Okay, I'm going to pull this article up. This is from manchesterlink.com. You guys could Google this on your own. Always do your research. Always dig deeper than what I'm telling you. Guys, I'm a guy on YouTube. Straight up, all right? According to the rules of the Federal Election Commission, a third-party vote today is actually good for something. It's the only way we, the people, can change the way we vote in 2020. This is from 2016. How so? If any third-party candidate receives at least 5% of the vote, 5% of the vote, they can receive public funds for 2020, an estimated $9 to $10 million, depending on the number of votes. That's not a lot of money when you're talking about a presidential campaign, but it is something. Our best chance of ever having more options in a general election, okay? So they get to unlock some funding, depending on how many votes they may potentially get on the debate stage. This is good. Why is this good? Guys, we're the most industrialized nation with a two-party system. If you look at Canada, if you look at the UK, they have multiple parties, right? Now, some would say, that's bad. Why? Because you don't want a president to be president without the majority of the public behind him. So our system is kind of like you're pushed into a corner and you have to pick one of these two guys, and at least they run with 51% or whatever of the vote. Well, not technically, because that wasn't the case with Bush. That wasn't the case with Trump. Meaning that more people disapprove him and dislike him because of it's not the popular vote, right? So we have a two-party system. I think it's archaic. I think we need to get rid of it. I think it's silly. And I think if you are telling people that they're wasting their vote, you're either just completely lying and being deceptive because you don't know what you're talking about, or you're just misinformed and you don't know what you're talking about. So stop with the shenanigans, okay? A third-party vote, if they get 5% of the vote, they get funds for the next election. I'm thinking 2024. I would love to see us move away from a two-party system. I think that would be good, okay? Maybe you disagree, but I would love to see us move away from a two-party system. And I would love to see a third person on that debate stage. So there's less shenanigans, okay? So stop telling people that they're wasting their vote if they don't want to vote for your guy. Stop it. It's toxic, it's dismissive, it's binary, and it's not helpful to the conversation of what's going on politically. So just stop, okay? I want to hear from you guys. You still think, after watching this, after go do your own research, you still think that voting third party is a waste of a vote? How? I would say voting for your guy, if you're in a state that always votes the opposite, is more of a waste of a vote than voting third party. I don't know, but let me know what y'all think.
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan